it's Don the Auction Professor here. We're in high haul season right now for us. It's been haul after haul after haul. I've got a couple different picks here. Not a ton of stuff, but a lot of value in what I got. Records and the typical items. I'm going to show you these real quick, and then we'll talk about something here that a subscriber had brought up to me that he had found, and something that I do sell a lot. I'll just touch base on these. These are cylinder records. I had just talked to somebody about these, and I just ran into a big lot of them, close to 100 of them here. But I'll talk about those in a few minutes. Let me start off with some of the odder items here. Need to know a little something about antiques, oddball items. These are step-ups from buggies. These are pretty good items. I got $4 into the pair, $2 a piece. I'd imagine I'm probably going to put like 75 a piece on these, maybe more. I don't know. I'll have to look these up, but I couldn't imagine getting less than, say, 35 or 45 bucks a piece for these. Pretty good items. Again, I wasn't sure what they were at first, but I'm very sure at this point now, after looking at them, that that's what they are. They definitely look original. They're very heavy. They're cast iron. Should sell very, very quick. Now this is phone parts. I've showed you phones. I've got a video from like a month or two ago that you can see that's just on collectible phones. So if you ever run across phones and want to know a little something about them, go back and watch some of my videos. I've went and done some specifics just on items like this. But this is a monophone, automatic, electric line, 1920s Art Deco. It even has an Art Deco little centerpiece here. It's only part of the phone, but even this part I should get, for the $2 I spent on it, say $35 or so at least for this. If it had the whole thing, this would have been $150 or better. I might get more than that for it just because of that, but you know, I'm assuming at least $35. So decent item. Tin cups. This was a quarter, 50 cents, I think. It's from Ponderosa. Bonanza, the TV show. I'd probably get $6, $8 for it. It's in real good condition. I talk about tins a lot. Here's a Bugler Tobacco Tin, actually. I haven't even looked inside of it. But this is a 50-cent item. I should get at least $10 for it. I'll have to look it up, though. But it's a real early one. You can tell by looking at it. It's got an 89-cent price sticker on the bottom. So if that gives you an idea. It could be $20, $30 even. I'm not sure. But again, it's at least worth $8. No matter what. Almost every one of these tins with good graphics like this, without a barcode on it, no barcode, that's what you're looking for, sells. I even sell some with barcodes, so it just depends on what they are. But if it's printed on there like this, it's nice graphics, no barcode, 50 cents, maybe even up to $1, I'd buy it and take a shot. Because almost always you're going to get $7, $8, $10 for it. Easy. Here's a Marathon Oil employee belt and buckle. Pretty decent item. I just got a couple bucks into it. Everything here I've got like 126 in everything you see here, and that includes $75 just on this box right here. So good investment. This will probably put $45 on it. It's probably from the 60s, like a crewman, probably something like that. It's a nicely done belt and buckle, so good investment on that one. This is just a little Washington Park, Sandusky, Ohio. It's a vintage, like, solid copper nail file of some sort, like an advertising piece with the wheel on the top. Now, some stuff like this, these little tiny town places. Sandusky, there's a port there in the whole works. It's on Lake Erie. I should get $17, $18 for this piece here, I'd imagine. Maybe even more if it's earlier. I'll have to look it up a little bit closer, but right off the bat, I would say at least $17.50. Let's see here. I had shown some telegraph keys. I've actually sold 2 of those already. One sold for $75, and the other one I took a $55 offer. Again, I think I spent like $25 on the 3 of them, so I've already, you know, made over $100 back, and I still have 1 more to sell, and I'll probably get $55 to $75 for that. But now I found 2 more. This one here is a big, heavy double key of some sort. I have no idea what this one is. It's BOLO products. It's made in Australia. The only Australia items I can find for telegraph went for a ton of money, and I'm talking over 1,000. The only 1 or 2 on eBay. I can't say for sure what this one's going to go for. I have no idea. Never seen anything like it. I'm not even sure how this thing would have been used. But it says automatic key number 100, made in Australia by BOLO products. It's got a Morse Eureka, some kind of Morse code thing here. Again, I'm not even sure how this works, and doesn't really matter. But it weighs a ton. It's brass and cast iron. Good item. And then I got one here too. I paid, I think, $25 for these two. I spent more because of this one here. This one looks like it's probably going to be a couple $100 minimum, I would guess, on this one here. These oddball ones sell for a lot of money, and anything overseas or from a funky company that just doesn't exist, those sell very, very well. I've sold some telegraph keys for almost $1,000 myself, so I don't doubt for a minute that this one could be one of those. It's hard to say. It's really an odd one. I've never seen a double like this, but here's a dollar book. Dick Tracy. This is probably, it's a Whitman, so I figure it's probably from the late 30s or 40s. 1943 Chester Gold. It's a decent item. You can sell this in the toy section under even Dick Tracy, or you could sell it in the comic book section, or even in the book section. I have better luck with these in the comic book section, honestly. I don't even list these in books. If it's anything to do with like something like this, or it's a Whitman book, a lot of the Whitman, like the Tarzan, put them in comic books. If it's a Tom Corbett, you could put him in like Mark's The Space Toys section. It just depends. Don't always list the item in the category you think it should go into. Research a little bit, and even if no one else is putting it in that category, that's why it might sell, because someone would have never thought about buying one of these who was looking for comic books. But they collect them by the cover, the artwork. This is a killer artwork piece here, Ace Detective. It's a real nice one, first edition, 1943. So if this was a comic book, it would be worth some money. So I'm going to put it in the comic book section. I'm going to put it for like 50 or 60 bucks and just see what happens. It's an early one. It's a nice one. It's got the dust jacket. Even not in tip-top condition, it's still a decent one. So, and then I showed you this one here. This is another one, another telegraph key. This is like World War II or before, probably. Again, this should be a good item as well, too. Let's get these out of here. And then I got a sheet music here, too. I spent $1 on this. This is a 1931 Little Orphan Annie song. This is like a promo that you had to send away for. This is when Little Orphan Annie was just coming out. I think there's actually A Christmas Story talks about that too. I think he's ordering the Little Orphan Annie, and it's just drink your Ovaltine. This is the same thing that they're talking about. It's complete. It's a little ragged. Even in this condition, I should still get 15, 20 bucks for it. It's an oddball item. I got some records here. I don't think I'll show you the records today. They're just some, oddball ones. There's some Christmas promos like $95, $57, 10 bucks, $12.50. I passed a couple. One's $14.50, $27.50. And again, these were $1 a piece. There's a good, I don't know, maybe $500 almost in records right here in that $1 a piece stack that I should get. Now, I'm not giving you prices that, I'm just going to put on them. That's about the price range I should get, and you can see some of the prices I've gotten for records. They're usually almost on my mark for what I'm putting on them, because they're scarcer records, like the Cadillacs, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, $24.50. Armenian Jazz Sextet. Now that's an Exotica record. If you don't know what an Exotica is, type in Exotica, Pop Psych, in an eBay, and look at some of the Exoticas. They're like lounge music. Lounge music sells too, so type in and do a search on lounge if you're curious. They're instrumentals, they're oddball stuff. They sound like they're underwater sometimes, or there's whistling in them. Those kind of stuff always sells. So here's one for $125. This is an oddball Christmas one. There's some colored ones in here, red vinyl and such forth. I got some polka in here, which most people don't mess with at all. But some polka goes for hundreds of dollars. I've sold a polka record before for over $6. It was a Jolly Frank Yankovic. So, it just depends on what it is. If I don't sell them on eBay, there's 2 or 3 local churches that are Polish around here that do Polish festivals, and they always buy the old records from me for a couple dollars a piece for their collection, and they spin them in their jukeboxes or at the Polish festivals they'll use them at for the music in the background. So I sell a lot of them regardless locally if I'm not able to sell them on eBay. So, that's just outsourcing. That was me doing my research. Where else could I sell some of these items if they're not worth anything? You can dump these into lots too. Polkas will sell in big bunches on there too if they're just common ones. But there are some polka. Do a polka search on Pop Psych as well too. Do some of these searches. This is how you're going to learn. Do the research. If I'm telling you something, spend a few moments and open up Pop Psych and look at it. That's how you're going to learn. That's the only way you're going to learn. So again, I've got like $500 in records here for like I don't know, maybe there's 30 bucks in this, maybe. And of course I looked through 1,000 records or so, and that's what I picked out. I probably picked out everything that's worth any decent money out of it. And again, I've got some 78s here too. There's probably $14 or $15 in 78s. There's at least $3.50 in 78s here. I mean, I got 39 to 57.50. This one's 125, and this one is a polka too, Frank Yankovic. So you know, it just depends. Here's a $75 one, the Tennessee 10. Again, these are names you can look up and see what they go for. All-Star Trio, $39.99. So in records here, I've got 60 bucks invested maybe. I might get, you know, with on return 500 here, I might get 800 bucks back. Low end of that, I'm at least going to get 500 back on my investment, on just the records. It's a no-brainer. I mean, people don't mess with these. People don't know which ones to look for. They just don't know. They don't do the research. Again, everything I talk about is research. If you're not doing the research, you might as well give up now. Let's move on to a couple items. I'm not going to show you close-ups on these. I'm going to show you close-ups on the cylinder records here to give you something new, something different to look at. And before we go to the cylinder, because that's literally, I didn't get a ton, but these are from a couple places. I'm going to take this out of here. Here's another thing you want to search for. This is a BOLO all day long. I've gotten 10 of these or so last year alone. It's worth $100. I don't know how well you're going to see this, but this is the Neverhood. Again, search this on eBay. The Neverhood. It's a clay-animated video game. Type in the Neverhood, all one word. It's a clay-animated video game. It's only available on the PC. I sell these just the disc for 70 bucks. And if you have the box, which I have had, I've gotten 260 to 270 bucks for this game. It's a scarce game. I've played it. It's a puzzle game. It's actually a really good game. And I've never been able to finish it. So, you know, it's a lot of puzzles and a lot of things and remembering and going back. And it's a really neat game, I have to say. I own a copy of this. I've kept it for myself. I just picked this one up here for $1. So I always look for PC games, vintage from the 80s, 90s. This one is from DreamWorks. The Neverhood. Let's see if there's a date on it. I don't know the date on this. I'd say 90s maybe. You should probably be able to find that online as well too. But the Neverhood. And I don't know how many people probably have passed these up constantly, but you know, we made almost $1,000 off of these. Actually, we did. I did. We had 10 of these last year. I looked it up. And 2 of them had the boxes, and I know one of them went for the 260. So we did make over $1,000 on this one game for 10 copies of this that we probably paid $1 or $2 for. $1,000. And again, these go for that range. 70 bucks, 75 bucks. It just depends on the day of the week and how clean the disc is. This one's spotless. It wasn't played very much. People didn't think much of it when it came out. But this is a primo, modern day video game BOLO all day long. Good money every day. Every day you see this. You can find these at Savers, Goodwill, anywhere in the CD section. So, you know, that's just something I look for. There's others. I'll give you more as time goes by. But this is one of my secret insider things that I always look for. And again, I made $1,000 on one game, one video game, 10 copies of it. And then the last one are close to 100 cylinder records, Edison cylinder records. Now these aren't as good as condition as the other ones that I've had in the past. I've got a couple hundred in stock right now. I've got 100 or so up, and the rest will be going up really soon. We actually have them scheduled to, but these I'll probably pull some out and put them up. I looked through about 20 of these before I said yes, I'll buy them for 75 bucks. Now this is one of those things that I wouldn't say messed up, but if you're at a place and you're buying something and you tell them a price for media, I'll buy all your records, whatever, if they're good ones, and I knew there were some good ones in there. I'm going to make some good money. I told them I'd buy them for $1 a piece, so I was pretty much stuck. These are basically records to pay $1 a piece for these. In the most cases, I would have probably offered them 40 bucks, 30 bucks for this many. And hoped I got them at that price. I would never spend, if you don't know what you're doing, more than, say, $1 a piece on these, ever. Don't ever spend more than $1 on these. Try to get them for 50 cents or less. Just tell them they're dead items. Most people don't play them. They might be messed up. Whatever the case may be, they look bad. They might have mold on them. Some of these do have mold on them. Some of these are broken on the inside. If you look on the inside of them, you're going to see like broken inside. These are like a wax-lined a piece of vinyl or plastic of some sort on the outside, and then wax on the inside. So some of these are going to be trashed. I threw away 3 or 4 already. There's probably another 3 or 4. I should get a good 80 or 90. But these have better titles. There was a Charles Lindbergh talking about the eagle on one of these, and that's a good one. It's early 20s. These were played and were running and sold just even up through the record era. So you could buy 78s and cylinder discs of the same items. And some of the later ones are worth more. So there's some 20s jazz in here, and there's some, some Charles Lindbergh in here. There's at least one I know because I saw it and I checked it out. It's a good condition. That's a $40 or $50 one on its own. So there's 2 or 3 in here that are going to bring me 150 or so back. So I'm going to double my money. I don't even know what else is all in this yet because, again, as I said, I stopped when I hit a point where I know I'm going to make some good profit on this without a problem. Now, if I still didn't find enough to say I'd just break even, I'd have kept having a look, or I'd have passed it by if there wasn't enough in it. But $75, again, I would like to have paid half that for it, but $75, I'm still going to make a ton of money. Even if I only sell those 3 in here, I'm going to double my money, and then I can just trash the rest of these, or throw them on a Craigslist ad and sell them that way, or something along the line, or take them back to an auction and have one of the local auctions auction them off, and let somebody else worry about them. Because there's still probably a bunch of $10 ones in here if I don't go through them all. But again, on some of these here, these aren't really worth putting up as an auction. You have to have the right person online to get them. There's not as many people that buy these, and most of these I sell lately go overseas. So if you put it up at an auction, you'd put a lower price possibly and just wouldn't sell it. So these days, on most all of these, I put them up as a buy it now. And just set a higher price on them, and then that way I can take whatever I feel is comfortable. Some of these are on PopPsych. You can look for them on eBay too. There's not a ton of them. Sometimes there's only 1,000 or so that are for sale at any time, or even that have just sold. So, but again, we're going to zoom in on these in just a second here. Okay, so these are the cylinder records. A cylinder record is basically like a wax cylinder. It's like a plastic covered piece of wax, basically. It's kind of hard to get a good image. Let's see if we can't darken this up. But these are the cylinder records. They're not all worth money. This is a Hawaiian one. I don't know how well that shows there. See if we can't focus it a little better. But the Hawaiian ones aren't worth money, but they're literally wax on the inside. When it's white like this, that's actually like some sort of fungus from what I understand in there. They'll still buy them like this. Better if they're not. This one has a minor damage. Something like this isn't worth much. This will probably be in a lot here, and I'll just sell them off that way or auction them back to somebody else. But some of these are better. Let's see here, this one. Whistle and His Dog. This is early like a March. Some of these might be better. This is New York Military Band. Something like this. These might go for, $24.50 or so. And again, they're for all different kinds of things. Burkhart, I'm going to have to look up most of these, but most of these you can find on records as well, too. So if you find the record, it'll give you an idea what it's worth. This is actually Broken Doll, London Taps, Judas Society Orchestra. This is an oddball one, too. Let's see if we can't get some better ones in here. Most of these I'm just going to put up for $24.50 and just take whatever I can get. Silver Threads Among the Gold. Now, that's a common song. It's probably the Oakland Quartet. Let's see what else we got in here. But again, I'm not going to show you all of them. Most of these can still be cleaned up. Let's see here. On the Banks of the Wabash, Far Away, Archibald and Chorus. I don't remember the guy's name, but Archibald you'll see on records as well, too. Here's a good one. This is a Foxtrot. Blues and stuff are why I would buy anything like this. Blues always sell, if I can get it out of the container. This is Home Again Blues, Foxtrot, Harry Roderman's Jazz Orchestra. Now, this one should be a good one. This one might be like $40 or so. It's a good name. It's got blues in the title. That's usually what you want to look for on something like this. But it's got blues in the title. Those numbers mean something. There are catalogs and price guides for these. But for the most part, I just use what I see on eBay and then just throw out a price. These are so sporadic and sell so weirdly that there's just no real way to know. Let's see here. Here's another Ballard, So Long. Some of these, again, they're not going to be worth a ton of money, every single one in here. This one's damaged. You can see it's all broken out. This one's just crap, so we're going to throw that one away. And most of these reels are even shot too, or the containers that they're in. This is a good one. This is another reason I bought it. Keep the Home Fires Burning. This is a World War I one. You can see it on there. This one's like 45 bucks or better. It's a World War I issued one, so that one's good. I'm probably not going to show you them all, but I'll just give you an idea. Let's see, who is this? Cal Stewart. Now this is a good one too. Cal Stewart sells. Type in Cal Stewart. You can see he went by different names. I don't even think that's his real name. This is a Train Time at Pumpkin Holler. These are like colloquial. He's talking like he's from the country. That should sell fairly well. Here's another broken one. Throw those down. Let's grab a couple more out of here. Again, these sell okay. I sell 1 or 2 a week, every single week. They mostly go overseas. Hawaiians don't sell, so that one's not much. Here's another Isle of Golden Dreams. Now, I've heard of that one too. Tuxedo Dance Orchestra. It has a little damage on the inside, but this one's still pretty solid. As long as it doesn't split down to the track, I might get a few bucks for that one still. Here's a Banjo. This is a good one. Anderson. This is like an early, probably like a jazz banjo solo. This one I might have to look up, but something like this might go for, 50, 60 bucks. So, you never know. But again, I got like 100 of these. They're not so much worried about the discs either, or the boxes they come in. It's more along the lines with the actual item itself. Let's see here. Mother's Prayers Have Followed Me. Rodent Heaver. Now, I've had some of those. That's religious. That's an iffy one. Some of these I'll have to look up specifically, but let's just look through a couple more here so you can get another idea. Vernon Dalehart. Let's see here. These are all cleanable too, so don't be scared off by the condition, at least what they look like. Can I Sleep in Your Barn Tonight? That's another country colloquial song. Should go fairly well. It's in decent condition. They're not all in super condition, but for the most part. Here's another one. I mean, these are all going to sell fairly well. I should sell, a couple right away. And then the rest are going to be, scattered. Here's another good jazz. Another reason I bought it. Here's a good one. Do you ever think of me? Foxtrot. Foxtrot Jazz again. Roderman's Jazz Orchestra. So that's what you want to look for on these. Let's see here if we can find some other real cool one here. Here's Back Home on the Farm. This is World War I era too. Those are like 10 bucks, 15 bucks minimum. Let's see here. Silver Bells. I got a Christmas ones always sell. So if this is a Christmas Silver Bells, that one should be very good. Sometimes the song titles are wrong, so don't always pay attention to the song titles. If you look it up, that could be actually Silver Bells, and they just abbreviate it. Another jazz one. Again, I bought this because of the jazz that were in here. Even if some of these titles are very famous and not worth a ton of money on a record, on these they could be worth well over that. Over the Waves Waltz. Now this is another World War I issue. It's a military band one too, so this is a good dancer. That should be a decent one. Let's see here. Waikiki, Hawaii. That's not worth much. The Hawaiian ones will all go together probably. Here's another Cal Stewart. Another Pumpkin Holler. So this one should be good too. Another 20 or 30 bucks. Again, 75 bucks I spent on all of these, so I don't have to sell that many. Here's actually Edison's own mixed orchestra. I don't know how well you can see it. I wish these were easier to show you, but there you go. Edison's mixed orchestra. So this one should be a decent one too. The ones that he actually ran and controlled. He recorded his own music, in his own group. So that's not uncommon. Let's see here. Get this back in focus. Another just junk one. Hawaiian. Let me see if I can find it. Here's a good one. This one's got the whole complete case. We'll back up a little bit so you can see. Usually they're lined with felt. This is a real nice one too. You can feel how smooth it comes out. It's got the felt all in there. The case alone on this one's probably a good one. And actually who this is even better yet. I'll zoom in a little bit better. We'll get you a better vision on this one. This is a John Philip Sousa. Now, Sousa sells. I've been talking about that before. This one's a sure thing of selling pretty quick. John Philip Sousa, while he was alive, he recorded this himself. It's an early one. It's the right one for the case. This is a good one. This one might be 50, 60 bucks. Let's see here. And again, don't pay more than $1 for these. I don't care what you think. Don't pay more than $1. Here's the Lindbergh one right here. Lindbergh, the Eagle of the USA. Dalehart, Vernon Dalehart. So this is a good one. I figure this was 40 or 50 bucks minimum. If this was a sheet music, it would sell. If this was a 78, it would sell. The small 78s, the big 78s, anything with Lindbergh on it like this sells. Again, I sell the sheet music for 25 or 30. The 78s go for 25 to say 50 or 60. And this is in that same ballpark range because this is made the same time all together. But that kind of gives you a ballpark. Let's see, I'll just take a quick more look through these and see what we can find. I don't see any other super good ones. Ada Jones. Here's another good one here. Let's see if we can't get it into view a little better. This is the Railroad Blues, and it's a foxtrot, meaning jazz, Roderman's Jazz Orchestra. Again, this one could be 50, 60 bucks or better. I know it may not look like much, but this will clean up. Some simple water will wash that up really nicely. You can see it's already gotten a little cleaner. Just takes a matter of time. Don't ever get these wet on the inside at all. It's safe to very lightly wipe the outsides, the colored section on the outside, but don't ever get the inside wet. You might as well just throw it away if you do. Here's an oddball one. Conant Man. It's a medley of jigs, it's called. These are like minstrel show tunes you'd probably hear. It's an accordion solo. It's just something weird by Kimmel. Here's another oddball one. Anything that says 1 step or 2 steps, usually fairly decent. Some of those could border on ragtime. It doesn't have to say rag on it to be ragtime, but Green Bros Novelty Band, I've had records by them. Most of them don't sell, but this one might. It's an oddball one, and it's on a cylinder record. And here's another good one. This is a real good one. Christmas again. I talk about these early Christmas ones always sell. This is a person reading the night before Christmas. It's a recital, so that's just him reciting it. And I'll have to look this up, but Humphreys is the name. Again, this one could be like $100 on its own. The Christmas ones are scarce on these, especially if they have the word Christmas in the title. But that's, just a small bunch of them. Again, these don't spend more than, say, $1 or 50 cents. No more than that. Get them as cheap as you can, because for the most part, 1 in 10 of these you're going to be lucky to get some good money out of. 1 in 20 maybe even. This lot, I'm probably gonna sell a bunch for in the 50, 60 range, all the jazz and the Christmas and stuff, and then I might be stuck with probably 60% of these that I'll have to figure out what to do with. I might just let them ride for a while, at $24.50. The ones that don't sell immediately at $57.50. But that's what I would do with these. So there you go. Well, there you go. There's my haul. Not a ton of stuff, but there's a ton of value here. It's at least $1,500 for everything I've got. But I've got $1,000 or so I'll be getting back out of the records, close to it. The telegraph keys, I don't know yet, but I'm sure it's several $100s. There's at least $400 or $500 in the cylinder records. So without a doubt, for the $126 or so I paid for this, I'm at least going to get $1,500 back. And again, these are prices. This is what I'm going to get back, not what I'm going to put on everything. I'm trying to give you an honest estimate what I should take and make out of this. And I'm pretty darn close. I do my research, so I want to give correct, accurate prices on what I would expect to get it for. Doesn't mean you're going to get it. Doesn't mean that it might go higher than that. Doesn't mean that it's possible it could go lower. But for my honest opinion, the prices I give you are what I should take back for the most part. If I give you 2 different prices, the top one is what I'm going to put on it. The bottom one is what I expect to get out of it. It's just a given. So, there's at least $1,500 here. Value is in this kind of stuff. It's stuff that most people would have missed. I'm sure, there's a bunch of people that are watching this now thinking, well, I would have never thought about buying that. It looks awful, the condition's not great, or it's just a piece of rusted metal, or whatever the case may be. But that's literally the stuff we look for and we make a ton of money on. This is just one day, one pick, $1,500. I had 2 picks like this today. I've had a pick almost every single day of the week for at least $1,000. Every single day of the week, we're loaded on it on stuff to buy. I may go beyond 90 days by far this time, but the stuff is just there. It's good items. I'm selling enough to get my money right back every single week. So if I spend $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 this week, I'm going to have that money back before the end of the week for the most part for everything I buy. I'll sell the Charles Lindbergh out of here right away, get at least half my money, if not more, and then sell a couple of the other nicer ones and get my money back. I'll sell probably the telegraph key and get all my money back for that entire purchase, and then double it and still have a bunch of other stuff to sell, like the buggy step-ups and some of the other tins and things like that, and even the records. So that just goes to show what the money is in these items. But again, Don the Auction Professor, if you liked it, please hit the like button below, subscribe, and tell a friend.